Good morning, everybody. You know, I got up this morning and really thought that concrete pour was going to be hurting me pretty bad, but when I got up, it wasn't that bad. As the day is progressing along, it's definitely getting worse. I can definitely feel it in my lower back. But I'm going to try my best to power on through. But we got to move on to something else. I don't know for sure what I'm going to do. I started out over there this morning. I took those outside forms off, and I've got the form still up on the inside. And I went around through underneath the part of the house and picked up scrap lumber and sticks and rocks and stuff like that. And then I've made my way up here to what will be our garden, I hope. It's not much, as you can tell. It's a pretty desolate looking piece of land here. There's not a lot of topsoil. There's plenty of rock. I think if anything, I'm going to manually rake up beds and surround that with rock and then start mulching and everything in between them, and then over the years it can build up. So not really looking forward to a real good garden this year, but we're definitely going to make a go of it anyway. I do have the pile of rabbit manure that we picked up the other day under the tarp, and that was nearly a truckload, so that's going to help start it out this year. If I can get these beds raked up and get some rabbit manure tied into it and mixed in, hopefully here in another month, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that, when we start planting, I can have this ready to go. I've got to get rabbit houses done in the same amount of time, and well, with lumber prices, the house is kind of on hold. I can't pay double. It just breaks my heart to even think about it. But we've got plenty to do around here, and just wanted to bring you guys along to my next journey. But the best cure for a sore back I've ever found is just grab you a chainsaw. Run it for a little while. That will most definitely loosen your back up for you. The edge of my garden fence was right in here, so I needed to get rid of some of that brush. That's kind of what I'm doing here, is just trying to plan this out a little bit. It's roughly going to be about a 50 by 50 to get it started. It's got kind of a belly of it in the middle here, but I'll have to work that out. I got a corner down here, one over there. If this rain's going to come in like they're talking about, the next few days I'll get this brush burnt. That way I don't have to worry about melting that fence that's going on. It's that 7-foot tall deer netting stuff, so I figure it would melt with a fire too close. But with a good rain, we can get a good brush fire going tomorrow or Saturday and get rid of all that. So if I can get this thing laid out, maybe some posts in the ground. I've got several 8-foot T-post, and then the rest of it I'll probably cut cedar post. We'll just have to see. Alright, so I got my 4 corners laid out here. And the chickens, of course, had to come see what in the world I was doing. But I'm going to have to drive these 8-foot T-posts off my tailgate. I'm just not quite tall enough for those. And I guess I could have drug a ladder over here, but it just seemed as easy to stand on the tailgate as opposed to a ladder driving a T-post. But right there we can see the hammer poking up is this corner. And then of course this corner is right underneath me here. This has ended up about a 50 by 50 square. Got a corner over there by the chainsaw and then one right behind the pickup truck. And they're just dying to get into everything around here. Huh, Floki? It's nice and windy. It's about 50 degrees, about 10-mile-an-hour winds. So for me, it's perfect weather for t-shirt and shorts, especially since the sun's not out. I love it. Let's see if they come chase me down. For lack of feed, it's for lack of fancy scratch. That's all they wanted. That's rock. Ow. Whew. That rock will hurt you. Bust through. Anybody want some rocks? far that rock's about 2 foot by 2 foot. Maybe it's a little bit bigger than that. So much for the garden being square. I might have to move the truck. Trying to punch through it. Just ain't working out. I'm going to move the truck. Rock's got to end somewhere. Somewhere it has to. Lost about 4 foot going this way. If this hole don't work, I'm going to start going the other way. know you got prime gardening spot when this is the luck you have with your first T-post. All we were doing was going the wrong direction. And that's how easy that should go. Now to go do this other corner and throw it to string. Tell him, Floki. Get him, buddy. This other post right here in the front is my water line where it comes through at, and my plan, I can dig a short little old trench just inside the fence and stub up one of the frost-free faucets right there, and that way I'll have water inside the garden, easy access, run sprinklers and all that stuff, and I'm not messing with dragging hose from way down yonder. Better understanding on where these four corners are. You can see the tops that are white, so this will be our square over to here, and then over to the chicken litter. I'm sorry, rabbit litter. So this is it for now. I'm going to run string line back here on the back and get a straight line there, and then come back in on the back. That way it's easier for me to get my truck in there and stub up some more posts in there. I only got a handful. I need to run tomorrow and get a few more, but this will get me started. Well, all of that back row drove down except for that one last one that was fighting me. It's back toward the first one where I was hitting rock on it, and I ended up having to move it over a couple of feet. You can kind of tell how the spacing is awkward, but that's all right. It is what it is. It's not going to hurt me one bit, other than the fact that I'll see it every single time I look at it. But when you're dealing with rock driving T-post, sometimes you just got to put it beside the rock. Now if I can get this side over here done, I'll be out of T-post. And then I'll have to grab, it looks like 8 more. That's putting them on 10-foot spacing. And I'll grab 8 more tomorrow when I make my run to town. And then I'll be ready to hang some net on here and tick some chickens off where they can't get in this. Thankfully, I am out of T-post. Wore a pretty nasty blister in my hand, even through that heavy leather glove. Is what it is. It always is what it is. But we got rain coming in this afternoon. I think there's rain forecasted for like the next 6 out of 7 days. So unfortunately, I'll probably be trapped inside quite a bit. Hopefully I can get this fire going. Hopefully it's just a nice drizzling rain, something like that, where we can get out and still get something done. And tomorrow's going to be my errand day. I've got a whole laundry list of things I've got to get done, but that will get me equipped for, once this rain stops, I'll be able to jump right back in and take off after it again. But I got this back row in, and well, that side row, I guess, if you want to call this the back row. And then I'll get the other 8, and then I'll set this side, and then I've got plans to put a gate in up here, so I'll set one 7-foot tall cedar post that I attach my gate to. That way I can cement it in, and that'll give me access in and out. And a quick trip to the cabin reveals a couple of gates, one for the garden, one for a future fencing area. And then I've got plans to get the water run in. That shouldn't be too big of an ordeal. But I think that's all I've got for today, guys. We'll get back on this garden one of these days when it quits raining, and we'll get on these rabbit houses. We got about 4 to 5 weeks on both of those to get all this knocked out and ready to go, because it's going to be planting season, and it'll be time for us to go pick up those silver foxes. So they'll be ready here, I guess, in about 4 weeks now. So time just keeps clicking by. We'll catch you guys on the next one.